Shadow Band.
It's heavy.
It's the metal episodes.
It's heavy.
It's the metal episodes.
It's heavy.
Alright. Last week we had issues with the barrier to batteries. And I was thinking it might be, you know, this recoil spring, which is the one I had in. So I figured I mentioned I was going to look and figure out when I would replace that. I just bought that at the beginning of the year, and I think I might have 1,000 rounds on it. That's it. So I don't think it's the recoil. I think it might have been my grip really tight up against the frame, possibly, because I've been gripping it very tight, going and trying to do all those fast shots and try to get my groupings where I want them. In doing so, I tend to string up a little bit. So actually, what I've read is you want a heavier spring. But then I've read that if you have a lighter spring, you're quicker to get back on target. So I don't know. I figure we'll just test it. So that's what we're going to do. In doing so, right now as it stands, this is the recoil spring set I got from Atlas. All right. And I'll just read it to you because I don't think you're going to be able to see that. You might be able to see it. I don't know. This spring from my left to right is a 13 pound. The orange in the middle is a 12 pound, and the yellow is an 11 pound. So I opted to stick with the OEM, which I think was cut down by Skip's Guns. It's a little bit lighter. So it might be a 13 pound, or I don't know. So what I did was I just took a 5-inch recoil spring that's too big for the Prodigy, and I put a short that I'll put up there, and in doing that I show how to remove and put the spring back in. I show you how I tuned it. So originally, the spring, if you look at these springs, the longer, the heavier they are. The longer one's 13, then there's the 12 pound, and then skip ahead if I'm talking too much, okay? An even longer one, about 3 coils high, and I think that one's going to be about 14 pounds. I tried to measure it with my trigger gauge. That's not going to give me a super accurate reading, but it would tell me if something's heavier than the other. So that's what it did. So I got about a pound heavier from the 13 pound one, which, So we're going to start out with the heavier 14 pound, the tuned spring that I did, and we'll see if it even cycles. And then what we'll do is we'll see where those groupings are. I'm going to do my 5 round shots at a specific target that I have a square box with some lines, so we have a graph to go by, right? And we'll go from the 14 pound to the 13 and then to the 11. I don't know that I'm going to need the 12 pound one. We'll just see with the 11, and we'll see if a lighter spring means I can get back on target, because all honesty, with the 13 pound that's in there, that's been in there, the dot just goes away, man. I mean, it's really, the heavier they say it can dip, and I think that's what's happening. So I think I actually might want to go with a lighter spring, but if you do that, you have to make sure that your gun functions. So that's what we're going to find out. I might have to stick with something in the middle. Maybe I'll settle with the 12 pound. I don't know. And I don't even know that I'm going to get into this really heavily. I think I'm just going to probably stick with the one that has been in there and just work on my grip. I don't know how the dot, most of the time I just don't see it. It's like a line going up and down sometimes. I'd like to see, have it not leave the window, but it is leaving the window. So that would help speed things up and keep me on target, but we'll see. Of course, we're going to do the bear drill now with the heavier spring in there. I haven't even shot it once, so it might not even I might not be able to get through it. I might have cycle issues or something. So let's find out, and I'll see you out there.
Getting used to the different weight of the recoil spring here.
Don't worry about my draw. This is all about just grip and where these rounds are landing. 7 yards. All right, 13 pounds. So far, I like the heavier one, which is what I thought. Let's see if anything changes. I mean, I got to focus on my grip. A little bit better of a grouping. So this is going to be the 11. I still have a problem. You know, I'm not getting them all in the box. I'm at 7 yards. I'm shooting relatively fast. But it looks as though the 11 or the 12 pound is a little closer. I don't know. Let's check this. Let's try the 11 pound. I might have to do a few over again. Uh-oh. Well, there you have it. The 11 pound won't cycle. Kind of figured that might happen. Yeah. We did the
Best out of 2.
my tuned 14 pound. We did the Atlas 13 pound. We did the Atlas 12 pound. And then we did the 11 pound, which is a hot mess. Now we're going to start over. We're going to put the tuned 14 pound back in. We're going to do that one next. And then we're just going to run the 13 and a half, I think it is, pound spring that I've been running all along. And let's see the difference, because I think it's going to be between that one and a 12 pound. So let's see. I like the heavier spring, man.
Alright, so this is actually the 14 pound spring again. I forgot to replace it, and I'm thinking I'm shooting the 13. So we get to see it twice. Heavy.
That last one was the 14 again. I forgot to change the spring up. So we got 2 of them all pretty much in the box in the area. The 14's looking pretty good. This one is the one that I've shot in the gun forever. It's like it's like a 13 point something, I think. Let's see how this one is. This is one I've been using on all the other videos. Got one high. I'm thinking the heavy one, man.
It's heavy.
14, 13, and now this here. Let's do the 12. Definitely feels 12 pound. This is the last test between the 12 pound and the heaviest 14 pound I got. Super fast. We're just going to see where they land. I even put a little dot. Aim small, miss small. It's probably going to be aim small, miss a lot. But let's see what happens. 7 yards. This has all been 7 yards. What do we do here? Okay. That's my grip. That's my grip. All right. Let's try. Let's do the 14 pound fast. I had the failure to battery. I'm gripping the hell out of this thing. Oh, do you see 3 rounds go in that? speed, that was pretty good. Let's go ahead. I got the 14 pound in, same speed. So it is hard to figure that out, honestly. Why did I have to miss that last shot so high just now? I mean, really? Any particular reason? Man, they were all in there. I always gotta have some flyer, man, to skew shit. But I'm leaning towards the heaviest one. Not just for where the shots landed, because they weren't bad between the 13 and the 14 pound, but for reliability reasons. Yeah, and that's what's in here now, and it cycles fine. The 12 pound was cool too, and it feels good. I had 3 in that center target, and 2 went wherever. I'll put it here. And then the next shots was the 14 pound, which is in there now. I had 4 in there, and 1 went way high. I don't know, but I liked the way, and the 12 pound hiccuped a few times. I could feel it. So no sense in messing around with the spring and going lighter for me. I don't want to have reliability issues because I end up carrying this sometimes. So yeah, and this is pretty much in the short from last week. This is how much I ended up cutting off the 5-inch spring to make it fit, and that's what's in there now. So I'm gonna leave it in there. I mean, I did have a few failure to batteries the last episode with the spring that I've been running. I think having this heavier one will help, because when I'm gripping it so tight, my hand's up against the slide, maybe the extra poundage will help close it. And that's what I'm relying on. If I can shoot that fast and get all 4 of them in there at 7 yards that fast, I don't care if one's up here or not, I'm gonna stick with this one. You guys let me know what you think. I mean, I'll post up some pictures, along the way. And, but I think this here, no issues with the, and lo and behold, the dot stayed put. The witness marks are good now. The screws during the past 4 or 5 episodes held tight. No hammer follow, no light primer strikes. The only issues we had today was the 11 pound spring, which I can see why. I'm going to clean this up and put it away for a little bit. And the next episodes we're going to be running the C2. And I might do the same thing with the C2. I might do a heavier spring in that. So maybe we'll do something similar with the C2. Let me know what your thoughts are on the vid. And yeah, train comfortably, train uncomfortably. Train to your surroundings. But whatever you do, you better train.